it already last year, maybe year before, but this kind of thing that we have to think about Purim each time from and any our festivals, we have to start and think about it again, and we talk about the spiritual meaning of what happened in Purim. You you probably know that that all characters in Megillat Esther in Purim, they saw themselves not just like a private people, but they represent some ideas, some something that they believe in that, and they try to fulfill their thoughts, their beliefs, their faith in real life. And really, a lot of great people in the world, they usually are not private people. It's usually they functions as some power.
Like a Talmid Chacham?
Yes, במובן מסוים, yes. They're like certain power that exists in this world. And Chazal says that all characters that that exist in Tanakh, they're not private people. they represent something, and that's what we see in our history as well. We can look in our time, our life, and recognize that all kinds of people that they function in history, they didn't do that as just somebody like some person. They knew that they represent some power. For example, Hitler, יימח שמו. All people that they learn something about Holocaust and the Second War II, World War II, they usually historians, people that they learn, that they teach and investigate history. They are historians. That's how you call them, historians. Historians. They call Hitler crazy. They say about him that he was crazy. Even there is a book that wrote Erich Fromm. He is one of the greatest psychologists in the past 100 years. He is Erich Fromm, Escape from Freedom, a very famous psychologist. He wrote the book that he tried to prove. In this book, he analyzed Hitler's attitude, his decision that they did, all kind of like his, and he tried to prove that he was schizophrenic. And but even without that, without this like research that Erich Fromm did, among historians, they say he wasn't normal, he was crazy. And I'll show you why they say that he was crazy. Yes, please, you want to say something?
I mean, you use the word crazy means...
Crazy, not
sick,
normal.
Mentally sick.
Mentally sick.
Stupid.
Not stupid. Not normal. He's...
Okay. Mental illness.
Yeah,
Okay.
mental illness.
I just want to...
But mental illness is like official word. How you call this guy, this kind of people, in slang? In there, he is like crazy, not normal. How you say that? Dumb, mad,
Out of mind. Mad.
mad.
Yeah, maybe.
He was mad. All kind of things like this. So why? Why they say that? First of all, general conception among historians that Hitler want to occupy all the world. He want to establish the Third Reich. It means, what do you mean Third Reich? It means that he will conquer, you say? Conquer with the conquer all the world. And make new way of life, like a new way of living, new order. It wasn't just to have some theory. He wanted to establish state, one big huge state in all the world. And for that he started to he occupied almost all Europe, and he started war with Russia. And the historian says that they don't understand how he dared to start war with Russia. It was like a suicide for him. Why? Because Russia, in this time when the war started, in Russia lived 180 million people. And in Germany it was 90 million people. Half of Russian population. Russia, until today, without Soviet Union, Russia itself, it's the biggest state that exists today in the world.
1/8 of all the world's landmass.
Yes.
It's a higher landmass than Pluto.
So it's physically, it's technically almost impossible to occupy such a huge territory, because their government can move all the time back to north, to Siberia, to Ural, and all that, and it's impossible to catch them. They will move all the time, and it's impossible to disperse all your army to such a big territory. So what he meant, how he can physically, technically conquer this country, especially that Russia in level of weapons and army, they were better than Germans. Until today, all the world use Russians Kalashnikov. Nobody used Germans Schmeisser. They also have, it calls Schmeisser. Nobody uses it today. All the world used Kalashnikov. All the world knew about MiG-31. You know that not today, the MiG. In time of this war, Russia had MiG-3. They have already the best one of the best or best airplane in the air, like a military airplane in the world. They have a tank. It was a T-34. T-34. It was. It's like today. Russian tanks is considered one of the best. Russians knew how to fight. They have good experience in previous fight, in the First War, and they have the biggest army in the world in this time, Russian. So what Hitler thought when he started this war with Russia, he had no chance. So he's crazy. Another thing that we should know. In time of the war, because they didn't have enough soldiers, they in the end of the war they mobilized them in mobilization. They mobilized people 60 years old and youth 16, 17 years old, Hitler Jungers.
Yeah.
They
Even
they
even younger than 16.
yeah, they sent
12,
them
13.
in the army. Why? Because they didn't have enough soldiers, right? So listen to this. In middle of this war, when they have no enough soldiers, they send 120,000 soldiers to occupy Africa,
Northern Africa or all of Africa?
North Africa. And who was the commander of that?
Roman.
Rommel. He's one of the best field marshals of Germany.
This is when they put Sephardi Jews in concentration camps here, right? In North Africa, they put like a few hundred, if not a few thousand.
Yeah. You understand that he take one of the best general that he have, and he sent him in middle of the war to occupy Africa. Why you need Africa? You should put all your strength in the struggle against of Russia. They're your main enemy. And when you will win this war, then if you want to conquer Africa, okay, do it then. And also, in middle of the war, he sent people, a lot of soldiers, his army, to Romania. Romania, what have connection to Romania in this time? You fight against of Russia. Why you should start send another? And also all this thing with Jews, the concentration camp. Only in Auschwitz they had 10,000 soldiers of SS. SS, they are the best soldiers in Germany. When you should send your commando to where to fight with in a war with Russia or with some Jews, women, old men, children, you send the best soldiers to watch them there in the concentration camp in middle of the war. You have to move millions of people. You have to feed millions of people. Think about why you spend your energy, your time, your money, your soldiers, your strength to fight with Jews. If you so hate them, so wait until you occupy all the world, and then when the world is yours, then you hate Jews. Okay, kill them, God forbid. But this is a logical way of thinking, right? And he did opposite thing. So what's the conclusion? He was mad.
He was.
And that's why they called him, historians, between themselves. They say he was crazy. He wasn't normal. He was because he did something very very not rational behavior. And I think that they mistake. They think in this way because they are non-religious. They're anti-religious, and they don't believe and they don't want any spiritual explanation to history. And that's why they think only in something in materialistic ideology, those historians. And that's why they didn't understand what really happened in Second War Two, in World War Two. They didn't understand because they were in conception of their way of thinking, like a materialistic. No, they were like in prison of their conceptions. Really, what happened? It's something different. How they represent this story, history. Really, the aim of Hitler, it wasn't to occupy all the world and establish Third Reich. He knew that it was just what he said to his nation, to his people. Really, his goal was to kill Jews. That was his main goal, not to occupy Russia, not to occupy all the world, to kill Jews. That's why this war started. And how can I prove that? Very simply, I can explain you all those weird things that Hitler did in time of war, and it will be everything will be very logical, very rational. Everything will stay in its place. If you change your conception and you understand that he wanted to kill Jews, of course he will send the best soldiers to keep a concentration camp in Auschwitz, because this is his goal. Of course he will send his best Field Marshal Rommel to Africa, because there it's very close to Israel, and Israel here there was 500,000 of Jews in this time, and they wanted to come from Egypt to Israel. Their goal was Israel, this land of Israel. And that's why he sent them to Romania, because in Romania it was 500,000 Jews in middle of the war. And that's why he came to Russia. And he occupied Kiev and Ukraine and all that, because he didn't want to struggle with Russia. He know that he will lose. There is his all kind of his writing that he say, I knew that we'll lose this war with Russia. He know that. He knew that. Sorry. So what he wanted, he didn't want to go to Ural and to Siberia. He wanted to come to this place where a lot of Jews, like Ukraine, Moldova, Romania, and Russia, in order to kill Poland, in order to kill Jews. That's what his goal was. And that's why in his last will, when he wrote, it was in this time, it was a few days before war before he committed suicide, few days before end of the war. I think it was 1st May or 2nd May, something like that. He wrote the note, like a last will. And in this last will, he talked about Jews, that he say to German nation, he command them, he conduct them to to continue to struggle against world Jewry. Who he didn't mention in his last will, you know? Russian. They, in this time, they bomb Berlin. They destroyed already Dresden. Their tanks near bunker of Hitler. They tried to occupy Reichstag and all that. He struggled with them, right? He even didn't mention them in his last will. No Russians, no Bolshevik, no communists, nothing. Who is his main enemy? Jews. And that it was his last word in this will. Continue struggle against of Jews. The last thing that he wrote in his life, it was word Jew.
Really?
You know. Amalek.
Sounds like Esau with his son as well.
Sounds like Aman in Purim. He was prime minister. He was the second guy from after a king. And what he says to his wife, וכל זה אינו שווה לי, כל עוד שמרדכי שם. And everything that I have, it's nothing to me. It's not enough. וכל זה אינו שווה לי, it's not worth for me. Nothing. As long as Mordechai is there. You know how we usually mention 6 million of Jews. It's of course it's terrible, but Germans, they died 10 millions. He killed his people, 10 millions, in order to kill 6 million Jews. And
he was democratically elected, though, too.
Again?
He was the democratically elected leader
Yes,
of the country.
yes. So from that we understand that that Hitler, he wasn't just a simple guy like a man. So who they are? They are metaphysical forces.
Besides the World War, it was also a spiritual war.
Yes,
at this time. The
exactly.
same with, during the World War II, before World War I, and also Haman, Purim, the story went off like this. Made like first was a spiritual war, and then it manifested on the earth, like in our world.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. Now, what we and today, Iran makes the same thing. They lose their economy. They have problems. Pardon?
Wasn't Iran allies with Nazis?
Yes.
Of course, I meant back in the day.
I'm not sure. I think not. No. They weren't. No, they weren't.
Excuse me. I was thinking of other countries.
Iraq.
So you're right. I was thinking of Iraq.
Iraq was.
Iraq was.
Yes, but Iran wasn't.
They were not
Was it the king? It was a
supportive of the Germans?
Shah.
No.
Shah.
No. But this power of Amalek, it's not certain nation. It's move all the time. It's move from one place to another place. It's move. So it moves from one state or one nation to another nation. But this idea of that they want to destroy Jews comes in each time in other nation. For example, Ukraine. You know, about 450 years ago, approximately, Ukrainian Bogdan Khmelnytsky, he was the leader of Ukrainian revolt against of Poland, Russia, and all kind of. He want to make his Ukrainian nation, to establish Ukrainian nation. Bogdan Khmelnytsky, they killed about, there are different counting, there are between 300,000 until 500,000 Jews. And in a time that Jews in the world, there were just a million and a half Jews, 450 years ago. And Ukrainian, they killed Jews a lot. And not only then, 450 years ago, until recently time, they always were against of Jews. All the Kazakhim they did a lot of bad thing. You probably know that in the time of World War II, a lot of Ukrainian, they were collaborate with Germans, a lot. And Jews, they were in Tremblinka, why in those places because why Germans choose to make those concentration camp in Poland and in Ukraine? Because they know that they are the people that live there, they will participate with them. And really, there were a lot of good Ukrainians. They saved Jews. They were. But majority of population, people say that Polish, Ukrainians, and Lithuania,
Lithuania or Latvia?
Lithuania. They are three. They were worse than Nazis. They enjoy to kill Jews. Damianuk, you remember this furthest Damianuk? He was Ukrainian, and it wasn't something like a weird person. This was atmosphere among Ukrainians. And also Petlura and Bandera and Machno, all kind of they just 100 years ago, they did a lot of pogroms. I think they were Amaleks. And before it was Malek in time of Aman, and after Amalek it was maybe in now it's Iran again. You understand? It means the history. It's something metaphysical. It's not just just a rational explanation. We have to remember metaphysical explanation of what happened, not only just what happened now. And really just not. And really, what we struggle against of all those empires that stand in front of us, we struggle not for our existence, that they should leave us alone, and we can live normally without tortured and killing and all that what happened. No, not that we want. We also struggle against of them, because we struggle for face of human beings. Can you say in English like this? Like a face, like how human beings are, what it is human being. Who is a man? We believe that a man is something good. He has God's image. We fight for God's image of human being. We don't want that they just leave us alone. We want to change the world.
We want to manifest godliness on earth, like Hashem's will on earth.
It's even more than Hashem's will. It's more like who is the Hashem's creation? Is it somebody good or bad? And you say Iran, right?
Iran.
No.
Iran.
Let me go.
No. Where like in like a circus when people no.
What?
When you make the place will make like a people arena. Oh. Arena of this struggle between Jews and Amalek is this world. It's an earth. There are two metaphysical forces, Jews and Amalek. And arena of our struggle for who, what the meaning of our struggle is, who is a man? We believe that a man, God creation, is good, and we want that he'll be moral and good. And Amalek says no, man is bad, and that's why they want to kill us. That is the explanation of all anti-Semitism. They don't hate us because we are clever or because we are stupid, because we are rich or because we are poor, because we are good or bad. No. We struggle for man. Yes, we would say something?
Oh, please finish the thought. We struggle for man. Wait, explain what that. They want to kill us because. So we say man is born good. God's creation is good. They say man is born bad and they want to kill us. I didn't catch why they want to kill us, and that's not my question.
Because we bring to the world morality, and they bring to the world just that man can be like animal. What that one? Immorality. And that is our struggle. They want to make man like an animal.
So for them, man is just a sophisticated monkey.
Yes.
You could say that.
So thank you. This is really interesting. My question is, you mentioned that today.
Just a moment. I want to show you some short movie that Hitler says that by himself. You should hear good. I'm not sure that I'll be able to make it strong enough volume, but you should listen to this.
Is it in the original German? Or translated?
It's translated. You speak German?
I speak German.
Ah, okay.
You can check it. It's okay.
If I hear it, yeah.
Don't you speak German too?
No, no,
I thought you did.
In fact,
no, not me, not me.
Just a moment, just a moment. Okay. So listen to no. Oh. He moves, he talks? No.
No. Press the enter. Yeah. Space.
Providence has ordained that I should be the greatest liberator of humanity. I am freeing man from a false vision called conscience and morality.
Holy cow!
You've heard about that? You've heard what he says? Listen again. Listen. What he says, what it's written.
what speech is this called?
I don't know exactly this. I think that they
Like I heard it here
they
in German.
took few speeches and they make them together. But listen, you've heard what he says before. I want to free people from.
It's
I'm freeing man from false vision called conscience and morality.
conscious.
You hear that? Okay, listen help.
The Ten Commandments have lost their validity. Conscience is a Jewish invention. It is a blemish. The heaviest blow which struck humanity was Christianity. Bolshevism is Christianity's illegitimate child. Both are the inventions of the Jew. The struggle for world domination is between me and the Jews. All else is meaningless.
Oh my goodness! Did the German you have support?
What?
Did the German that you heard support the translation?
I barely had any German because it's the English is over.
Those
running
words
German,
he
right?
says
I barely German, right?
in his conversation with Rausching. You've heard about Adolf Rausching? He was the best friend of Hitler, and Rausching asked him. There is a book. It calls "My Sprecht mit Hitler."
Mein
Book
Gespräch?
"My Sprecht." He talk
Mein Gespräch mit Hitler?
with Hitler.
My conversation with Hitler.
Yeah, it's you can find David Adolf Rausching.
How do you spell Rausching?
Rausching, I don't know, but
Probably
I can figure it out later.
that is his that's what he says in his book. You understand our struggle in this world, like he says, we struggle for a man who is a man. He says the morality lost his visibility, like there is no morality. That is, we are not poor people, we're not miserable, we are not victims that all history somebody want to kill us and they don't know and we don't know why. No, not this is the story. And as he says, all else is meaningless. Again, listen to this again. What he says.
So
What?
is Hitler misinterpreting Nietzsche's writings?
Just one. You see what it's written here? And all else is meaningless. And that it was Hitler, that it was Iran today, that it was with Ukrainians. It's all our history. That is the story. And that is meaning of Purim. It's not a holiday of our liberation. It's much more. Yeah.
Greece, those
In Greece and Roman and all that, all our history. Yes.
תודה רבה. תשובה טובה.